Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is Juneteenth. I didn't even realize until I called my bank today, trying to see how much money I had in my account, because I'm getting close to beating Zelda 2, and I'm currently stuck on Oracle of Ages, but I am super far in it. I need to sit down with like a walkthrough video and try to figure out, because I'm lost in a fucking dungeon. So I was like looking to buy another Zelda game, because I usually buy one online if I can't find any in stores that I don't have. That way, by the time it gets to me, I've already beaten the current Zelda I'm playing. Yeah, I had my wife, she looked it up, because I was like, what is Juneteenth again? I guess it's like celebrating the Emancipation of Proclamation, which, hey, I'm cool with it. You guys know me, I'm a Lincoln fan. I am going to do a podcast soon. I got my Bible here. I'm gonna do a Bible episode on Abraham, the story of Abraham and Isaac, where I get my name, Abraham Isaac Jacob Williams, you know. So that's something that's coming up. My nephew's getting dropped off today, so yeah, that was fun. He was wearing my Sam Tripoli shirt the past 3 days that he stayed with us. He took a shower, and he has autism. I love him to death. I'm not making fun of autistic people. It's interesting as someone without autism watching and interacting with someone with autism. It's kind of fun, really. But he took a shower when he got here, and he put on my Sam Tripoli shirt, and I didn't care. I was like, okay, maybe he didn't bring clothes with him or something, you know. And he wore it like the past 3 days, and he's going home today. So I just told him, I said, hey man, I love you to death. I said, but do you care to switch back into your shirt? And he goes, what? And I go, you're wearing my shirt. And he goes, oh, I didn't even know. I'm like, it's all good. It's just, you know, I want my shirt back, because all my clothes is in storage. So hopefully you guys can hear me well, you know. But yeah. So yeah, just been playing Zelda. Last night I did some grinding. I maxed out my stats, dude. You max out your stats at level 8, which kind of bummed me out, because I don't mind grinding as someone who's like a big Final Fantasy fan. I wish that you could go higher, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So I have a feeling it's gonna get more difficult now, which I'm worried about, because it's already a hard enough game. But they do have like little extra lives. Apparently, when you max out, you can get extra lives. Plus, there's dolls sitting around Hyrule that you can collect, and they're extra lives. I had to sadly use one of them today. But yeah, just been playing Zelda. I've been doing a shit ton of fucking research, so I have a shit ton of fucking notes, man. I have been grinding. As far as an update, though, I gotta roll this up, man. As far as an update, though, for the channel, so last episode, I had mentioned an old Blue Pill podcast episode that I had put out, because that's my second podcast, which is basically, which the name implies, you got Conspiracy Corner Podcast, which is all conspiracy, and then you got Blue Pill Podcast, which is pretty much anything non-conspiracy, is what I put out on there, because I am a regular person at the end of the day. But I just upload it to my Conspiracy Podcast channel. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You ain't gotta watch it, you know. But it was an episode called I Was Conned. So I had to go through the entire library on Spotify, and I never uploaded it. So I'm like, fuck. So I uploaded that today, and then Spotify has this new feature where it's an awesome feature. So like if I reference a previous episode, it lets you link your episode you're putting out. It lets you put 2 links at the bottom of whatever episode of yours that connects with that episode, so that way you don't have to rehash shit. And you could say, hey, check this episode out. It'll be in the link below, and you can just click on it. So, and you can do it with other people's content too. Like say, that's why honestly I keep telling Minutes of Horror, he probably doesn't watch, but I tell him, man, I'm like, dude, you got to get a Spotify, man. You're missing out. And I've tried to link to him before on Spotify, but it won't let me because he's not on Spotify. So I'm like, bro, you got to get on Spotify. It's pretty much the new YouTube with 0 censorship. It's fucking awesome. But anyways, last episode I put out, I mentioned that episode, so I had to go through 450 something episodes to see if I put it out, and I never did. So I put that episode out on Spotify. Go check it out. And then when I put that episode out, I wanted to link another Blue Pill podcast episode, and it was hashtag Me Too, a Me Too story about me, and me talking about 2 different stories about relationships that I was in with feminists and crazy shit. And I was gonna link it up to that episode. It didn't pop up on Spotify, so I had to go through 450 something episodes again, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't put that one out. So if you're listening on Spotify, you got 2 new episodes that you've never heard before. Yeah, there you go. But that's it for channel updates. I'm gonna do, hopefully this weekend, I'm gonna do a bunch of maintenance on YouTube and Spotify, both. So you're gonna see some big changes with the channel. I'm gonna start some new playlists, that way stuff is more easily accessible. I'm gonna start a P. Diddy playlist because we've done so many episodes on P. Diddy now that he needs his own playlist. We're probably gonna do an Epstein playlist too. That way it's just easily accessible for you guys. Like, hey, I want to hear episodes on this subject, and I want to hear Abe's opinion on it. There's 5 or 6 episodes. You know, you can just click on the playlist on YouTube and be like, all right, now I can just go through all of these, you know? So that's a bunch of updates for the channel. So let's get on with the show though. So we're going to talk about Vance Boelter. I have been keeping up with this story. By the way, there's a lot of strangeness in this story. So disclaimer, there's definitely some conspiracy shit. But we're going to talk about Vance Boelter today. First of all, I didn't know about this dude. Apparently he worked under Tim Waltz. And there's a lot of division in the community about this story and this figure. A lot of political division, a lot of religious division. It's getting interesting. It's a very hot topic. This dude worked under Tim Waltz. And to sum it up shortly, which we will get into, tell as much detail as I can in full detail. But just to sum it up shortly, this dude worked for Tim Waltz, and he was like a Democratic lawmaker, I believe. And he was going around, he had plans apparently, and a whole book of a list of names that of people he was going to take out. He was going to go on, basically, the theory is, from law enforcement, is that he was going to go on a killing spree and just start taking out all these, like, Democratic lawmakers. So, first of all, I didn't realize this until I watched Inside Edition yesterday. I personally like Inside Edition. You guys are probably going to tear me up in the comments and be like, they're CIA, you know. I've never seen anything from Inside Edition that I thought was corrupt or evil, but I don't watch it all the time. I just tune in once in a blue moon, probably like once or twice a year. I'll see a story that's Inside Edition, I'll check it out. So you can judge me, whatever. I've never seen anything that they've been super corrupt or nothing. And I'm sure they are, though, you know. I mean, they're mainstream, so. I got to see old footage of this dude, this Vance Boelter. And I'm going to piss off Christians. I don't really care. I'm an occultist. I'm a witch. You guys hate me anyways, so. Suffer not a witch to live or die or something like that. What is the Bible verse? Suffer not a witch to die. This dude was a religious nut. There's old footage of him. Apparently he did preaching on the side. And he did some missionary work, and I can't remember the country, but it was a video of him in another country doing missionary work. And I'm not sure which denomination. You guys know me, I was raised Christian, and I was raised Pentecostal, Baptist, non-denominational, evangelical, Southern Baptist. We tried it all. As far as Protestantism. But we were mostly Pentecostal because of my mom. But this video is ridiculous. It's literally him like prancing around the stage, you know, like, oh Jesus, I feel Jesus in me. I'm sorry, dude, and I'm gonna bash on you all. You all are fucking ridiculous. And it's so fucking weird too, because I don't remember in this Bible, this book, it ever saying like, and then Jesus, after talking to the apostles, started acting a fool and prancing up and down and flailing his arms like a gay man, going, I feel it, I feel my Father in me. Where in the Bible does it say act like a fucking retard? Just curious. So this guy was a religious fanatic. So you guys know my opinion. I truly do believe that like hardcore Christians, first of all, I think everyone suffers from mental illness. Just saying. Second off, like, you know, like, it just is what it is. Like, if you're super religious, you're probably knucking futs. And I heard Truth Seeker going, oh, they're gonna go against the Christians now because of this guy. We're gonna get put on lists. And it's like, no offense though, I cannot feel bad for you all. I have seen nothing but hate in this conspiracy community against my people, witches, occultists. You guys literally call us the worst fucking shit ever. I don't care if this hurts your feelings. This is the fucking truth. You guys call us baby eaters, vampires, cannibals, child molesters. You say we sacrifice babies. You guys call us the most disgusting shit on the face of the earth, when the average occultist and average witch just wants to take care of Mother Earth and be a good person. So no offense, I do not feel bad for the Christian community that you guys are going to get put on list now. Welcome to the club. I'm already on a list because I'm a conspiracy theorist and I used to be a Q-tard. So I'm sure I'm on a fucking list. Don't feel bad for you. And no offense, classic liberals like me who are occultists and witches and stuff, we're scared of this whole pendulum shift because we see a huge uprising in Christianity, in the truth community, and in government, and in politics. People are going Republican now, and they've completely forgot about the George Bush era, or the Ronald Reagan era, and people are becoming Christian now. I'm scared of, honestly, there's an uprising of Christian nationalism. I see it in my everyday life. I live in Kentucky, homeboy. I see this shit. And I hear my buddy who I work with talking about there needs to be another Crusades. If he believes in that, next thing he'll be saying is there needs to be another witch trial. If Christian nationalism takes control, I will be dead. You will see occultists and witches like me hung or burnt at the stake again. Mark my words, dude. So it is a fear in me. But apparently he had texted his roommates he was living in a house along with other people, which is strange. You're a politician and a preacher and you have to live with other people. He texted his roommates saying, hey, I made some bad choices. I may be dead soon. And he broke out a car window in a back alley behind the house where he was living and staying. I don't know why. This is just, I'm giving you as much info as I have. He's on film, I'm guessing a CCT or Ring camera, wearing a mask, which was, I did find out, and this might not be true, this is just me digging around, this is all alleged, but I did find out through a comment section, apparently the mask he was wearing was a Walter White mask, which is, I don't know, fucking hilarious to me. Walter White, WW, upside down, Eminem, I don't know, sorry, my brain. Walter White, sideways would be 33. Dun dun dun. Illuminati confirmed. Sorry, my brain. I can't help it. So, after one of his crimes, one of the sites of his crimes during his spree, apparently he left his car behind, which this whole thing is fucking weird. So, he escaped the cops at one point and had left behind his vehicle, which means he had to have escaped on foot. This is what makes my conspiratorial brain go, something is fishy here. Something is afoot, amok. I watch, this is like honestly one of my little rabbit holes that I go down just for entertainment purposes, but when I'm not watching conspiracy shit, me and my wife love watching dash cam footage and police body cam footage. I know you can judge me. I don't care. It's my guilty pleasure, and it's my wife's guilty pleasure. We love watching body cam footage, man. We watch it all the fucking time. So, from this, I feel after hours of research of body cam footage, very rarely does anyone escape the cops, especially on fucking foot. So that's what's so fucking weird about this. I think, conspiratorial tinfoil hat on, I think they let him escape. Because somebody higher up was like, dude, let this guy escape. Pretend like you're getting him, chasing him. I want to see the body cam footage. I hope it gets released. I want to see this body cam footage of how this dude escaped. Because that very rarely fucking happens. So then, because he left his car there, they searched his car and they found a shit ton of No Kings flyers in the back of his car. And so, okay, it's a proven, now this is where it gets crazy. So Blue Anon, if you guys know what Blue Anon is, it's basically the Democrats and progressive and liberals conspiracy theories. Blue Anon is saying that this dude was MAGA. And they're like, yeah, this is a fucking MAGA, Q-tard, idiot, psychopath. But it is a proven fact that he worked under Tim Walz. And they did find these fucking flyers of no kings. So let's play devil's advocate. Blue Anon, I guess the Blue Anon conspiracy would be that he had those flyers in there to frame the left and the Democrats that they're killing their own. And maybe he worked under Tim Walz to infiltrate the Democratic Party and to like have a paper trail and a history with the Democratic Party so they couldn't blame MAGA. Like he's a double agent. I don't know. Or this dude's just psychotic and doesn't know what he is, you know. Or he was a true blue Democrat with a good heart, like a Kennedy or something, and seen the corruption and evil within his own party and was like, okay, all these motherfuckers need to die. You know, I don't know. I have no fucking clue, man. I can't wrap my head around it. So he did kill two. Let's see. No, he didn't kill two Minnesota lawmakers. I'm sorry. I apologize. He did shoot two Minnesota lawmakers. He was dressed as a cop, and he was driving a black SUV, and the license plate literally said police on it. I don't know if it was the letters, like he specially ordered one online that said police. Apparently it had lights on it, which he was using while driving around on his spree. But the list had 45 elected officials on it. I do not have the list in front of me. I apologize. I do not have that info. So if you have the info, if you want, put it in the comments, the whole list of people. I know Tim Walz was on there. And the reason I didn't write it down was like half these people I don't fucking know, sadly. You know, and you could call that ignorance or I don't know. It's hard for me to keep up with all the politicians, you know. So he went to 4 different lawmakers' houses. He had a 9mm handgun. And apparently when they finally did get him, they seen him run into the woods. This was after he escaped. They went to his property. Sorry, I have the notes here. You'll have to forgive me, dude. I'm not perfect. He went to his property, and they seen him run into the woods on his property. And they called in SWAT, and they called him out. So they got him. But his victims is a Melissa Hortman and her husband. And they had a home in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Because I think Tim Walz is from Minnesota too, so he was taking out Minnesota lawmakers. Which, by the way, there had to have been some new law that was passed in Minnesota that this is just a conspiracy theory, but was there a law that was passed in Minnesota recently that maybe he disagreed with, and that's why he's taking out these lawmakers? My eyes are burning and the rain stopped, so I'm rolling down the window. Technical difficulties. I don't know. If you're from Minnesota, hit me up in the comments. If you're not from Minnesota and you just know that there is a new law in Minnesota that just passed, maybe a controversial bill or something, let me know. And maybe that's what... I'm just trying to play Sherlock Holmes over here. Maybe that's what triggered him to go on this spree, you know? So John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, were shot and survived. Dude, John was shot 9 fucking times, homie. And his wife was shot 8 fucking times. And this is all... Let's just say if we're believing the mainstream narrative. Can you imagine being shot 9 fucking times and your wife gets shot 8 fucking times. She survived. Apparently he's struggling. He did survive, but he's having to have like multiple fucking surgeries. If we're going mainstream, you know, narrative. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I want to look into, honestly, maybe we'll have to do a deep dive on the Hoffmans or Holtmans. Hortmans. I'm getting 2 different names on my from my sources. You know, I've watched like 3 different fucking sources, and I'm hearing Hoffman and I'm hearing Hortman. So it's one of the 2. And as with any news story, I used to be a journalist for the Garrett Gecko. So I mean, I've done journalism for years, you know. I have experience, and, you know, that's my little badge of honor. But there's this thing in journalism which we call the fog of war. So there might be a lot of haters in here who have never done journalism and who just automatically jump to the comments and go, "You suck, you're giving us false info." And it's like, dude, anytime a news story first happens, and it's not even on purpose, they always think that there's an alternative motive behind it. Like, I would consider myself an actual real journalist, you know. They go, "Well, you're putting out disinfo, you're a disinfo agent." And you see it a lot within the conspiracy community. You're fake news. It's like, dude, anytime a news story first happens, there's always a phase called the fog of war. And that's what we call it in journalism, the fog of war, meaning half of the story that you're putting out on any story when it's new is going to be disinfo. And it's not even like you're purposely doing it. It's just like you're getting wrong info. And we literally are in an info fucking war, dude. I mean, I've said this 1,000 times that, well, not 1,000, but you know what I'm saying. Alex Jones named his podcast the perfect fucking name. I don't know if he had a crystal ball or what, or a download from God, because he did talk about that on his Roseanne Barr episode, that he gets downloads from God, and I get downloads from God. By the way, speaking of God, man, look at that. Ain't that fucking beautiful? Sorry, that was like perfect timing. Lol. I'm getting a download. Lol, beam me up, Scotty. Yeah, I don't know, man. What do you guys think of this Vance Boelter shit? And I'm sorry I went on that little rant, but I get tired of... Dude, me and Truth Seeker, man, we need to, like, have a convo one day. We need to do a podcast one day. Because, honestly, I don't hate the guy, but he puts out, like, decent info, like, 50% of the time. I get a lot of good scoops from him, you know, and I always give him shout-outs, but... man, his like fucking, he reminds me of like old school conspiracy, because he believes in reptile lizard people, you know, and you guys know my opinion on it. I do think there probably could be lizard people, but I don't think that everyone is a lizard person. And I don't know, he's like super Christian, yet he does gematria. I would love to have a good sit down convo. And I want it to be recorded, honestly. And if it turns into a debate, it can turn into a debate. If it turns into me and him, like, having a beer together and going, "Hey, man, like, you're cool, you know? We disagree, but you're cool, you know?" I'm cool with that, too, because I would rather make friends than enemies. One of my best friends, man, that calls me, like, me and him talk for hours, like, every weekend for the most part. And I'm satanic as fuck, and he's Christian as fuck. But I mean, we disagree on a lot of shit, but we're still, at the end of the day, like fucking homies, man. And as crazy as it sounds, I remember telling you guys before, man, there was a girl that, if I was single at the time, I would have fucking married this girl. We were best fucking friends at Beaumont Inn, and she was beautiful. But she was super Christian and I was super satanic, dude. And I was like, it would never work. But oh my God. Skinny as a rail, like tall as hell. Dude, cute little butt. I would have just fucking ate her butt like every fucking day. Alright, I'm gonna let you go. There you go. Vance Boelter. Walter White. I wanted to tell you guys that story, man. It's fucking crazy, man. Love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Oh, and I do have a Buy Me a Coffee account. If you want to donate, it's in the description below, wherever you're listening from. It helps the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe so I can get monetized by these motherfuckers. I'm trying to make a living here. I'm missing teeth. I need to go to the dentist. Alright, love y'all. Bye.